Hello, good evening to you. Thanks for staying tonight again. And I asked a question earlier at the start of the show today at about 3 o'clock. Imagine that you had to pay your rent monthly. Just imagine that. And one way to help you with that is a quick math. Imagine that you're paying £1 million per annum annually for your residence, your flat or something. If you were to divide that by 12, it would be just about 83,000 naira. So instead of paying £1 million naira in bulk, you're simply paying 83,000 naira every month. Now that you probably can handle better than just paying £1 million naira at once, you know. But it's that, how practicable is that in Nigeria is what we're discussing in this hour. Now a look at the story that inspired the conversation from the Nation newspaper. Federal government and landlords charge monthly rent. Now here's a bit of the story. Federal government has urged landlords of private property to start charging their tenants monthly, quarterly or half-year rents, instead of the current practice of charging 1, 2 to 3 years of advance rent. It noted that in the post-COVID-19 era, most tenants are owing rent or facing eviction. Now, Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola said this yesterday at the opening ceremony of the 15th Abuja Housing Show. He was represented by the Minister of State for Works and Housing, Abubakar Aliyu, and said, quote, "It is evident that most houses available for sale or rent belong mostly to individuals and private companies compared to those the state or federal government have available. Therefore, many of the tenants who owe rent, who face eviction, or who seek to rent or buy property due to the pandemic are dealing with private citizens or companies and less so with government agencies. Consequently, my recommendation for improving access and affordability in the COVID-19 era and beyond, as presented at the Federal Executive Council meeting and which is still out for this gathering, is for private companies and individuals to give back some of what they control to citizens in a way that the federal government of Nigeria has given back to citizens some of what it controls. For example, in cases where the rent of businesses or some individuals are due for renewal, the private landlords can give back by accepting monthly, quarterly or half-yearly rent, instead of 1, 2 or 3 years rent in advance. Now, the risk of default can be secured by bank guarantees or insurance bonds provided by the tenant or the employer in exchange for a direct debit mandate from the employee for the deduction of his rent from his salary to pay the landlord. Where rent has fallen into arrears, it is possible to emulate what the FGN did through the Central Bank of Nigeria to reschedule payment of loans by rescheduling the payment for the tenant to more affordable terms instead of adopting eviction. Now, how practicable is this in Nigeria is what we're discussing at this time. And my guest who's joined me via phone from this conversation from Abuja is Owen Martins, who's a property consultant and MD Boing Group. Ori Martins, good evening to you. You're welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Dayo. It's my pleasure hooking up with you this hour.
Great talking with you as well. Interestingly, now this statement, the story I read just now, the statement credited to the Housing Minister's representative was made at the 15th Abuja Housing Show. And when I spoke with you earlier today to request your presence for this interview, incidentally or coincidentally, you informed that you also happen to be at the 15th Abuja Housing Show. Now, how is that going, and what's the highlight of the show? Let's start with that for now.
Yeah, the show is a very interesting one. It has been an annual show in Abuja, organized by a good friend, first off. Last year we could not have one, and now we are having one ongoing. I just left the venue a while ago, and very interesting one where housing issues are being discussed, policies and other related matters that has to do with housing in Nigeria. Lots of developers are there. Major players in the housing industry are out there. So it's a wonderful thing. Program year in, year out have been, for the past 3-4 years, I've been part of the program. A lovely one, and at the International Conference Center is a big house of activity here.
Imagine it is. Now, the Abuja Housing Show, the housing deficit in Nigeria is extremely high. I think 70 million, is that figure appropriate? Is that accurate? 70 million, the housing...
The figure of 17 million came up about 5-6 years ago. I'm sure it should be like 20 million. Now, one of our discussions yesterday mentioned that this figure we are relying on was about 7 years old. So we should just be talking about 20 million or more, the housing gap that needs to be breached.
Okay, that's a very high figure. So what exactly, or how are events such as the Abuja Housing Show helping to address this humongous housing deficit? Or is it just big boys in the housing real estate sector just organizing an event for themselves, and in the evenings they organize a banquet where they gulp some expensive champagne?
Not really. As I mentioned, it's organized by private individual, by friends that have been doing this for the past how many years. It's a way of bringing policymakers, stakeholders, players in the industry together for the dialogue to discuss on how to solve the housing gap or the needs of Nigerians. It's a welcome development. We have a lot of international delegates. Some people join us via Zoom in so many countries. So we also listen to experts from another country and how they are able to successfully manage the housing gap of their country and how to employ best practice in managing our own housing crisis in Nigeria. It is a lovely show that I recommend for everybody, and we have so many state governments represented here. We have the architects, the engineers, the builders, the senator, the House of Reps member, as well as the housing minister represented by the state minister. So it is a wonderful thing that if the resolutions at such gatherings can be implemented, I'm sure to go a long way in solving or reducing the housing gap we have in Nigeria here.
Oh, so now what's been recommended by the minister, is that going to help in your professional opinion? Is that going to help to reduce the housing deficit? They're recommending that owners of properties, landlords of should charge monthly rent as against what we have right now, which is a year, 2 years, or even 3 years in some cases. Will it help, and how far might it help or go in helping to address the housing deficit situation?
Yes, as you mentioned, it's encouragement and advancing, just an advisory. They said that in advisory capacity, it has not been made a law.
Yes, of course.
I'm interested that so many countries around us, and I have started making this long ago. Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Rwanda, South Africa, Liberia, Burkina Faso, and so many, even in the Western world. This is the practice. Pay your rent monthly or quarterly. It's only in Nigeria and maybe a few other countries I cannot remember now that we have this issue of payment annually or 2 years rent in advance. But let's come to look at it. This is just advisory.
Yeah, no, we'll come to the other aspect of it as far as government's role is concerned. But what I'd like to know is, if Nigerians are allowed to pay their rent monthly, will that in any way help to address the housing deficit? And if it will, how?
I don't think it will affect it. It's a way of you have malaria and you are taking Panadol. It's just a temporary relief. You go until you treat the malaria properly. They are just talking about the symptoms, not the root cause of this housing gap we are having.
Okay, so what will pay monthly rent? What advantage will pay monthly rent have then, if it will not ultimately help to address the housing deficit?
It's going to be a good advantage to people that are paying annually now. If they are meant to pay monthly or quarterly, they can afford a better house. Okay, instead of living in a shanty, they can move to flat and better accommodation. But the question is really sustainable in the long run, and of course, it may not help the housing industry. In Western world, when the economy is not doing well, the first sector you feel it is housing sector. When there is a statistic that shows that this month a lot of people cannot pay their rent, or a lot of houses have become vacant, or houses that are not being taken over, mean that the economy is in crisis. Quickly, government need to do something. But here, when there's a recession in the economy or depression in the economy, we don't feel it in housing sector because people pay their housing way ahead of time. Someone that just lost his job in the month of July probably pay the rent in June. You need to be in that house for the next 1 year or thereabouts. So the impact in housing may not be immediate. Okay? But that does not mean it's going to solve automatically the housing needs of Nigerians.
So what you've just described right now is paying monthly rent is obviously good for those who are seeking places to stay in, who are going to pay in the rent. But for the investors in the housing sector, it's not a good thing.
It's not, because the government has not done enough to encourage the investors, the developers, and the players in the industry. I want to say this with all sense of modesty and humility. Banks in Nigeria, they have an unwritten law, unwritten code not to invest in real estate. They are using, I don't know, okay? If you go to a bank and say you have a housing project, they don't want to talk to you. And by the time you source the money from every means available to build this house, you want to get your money back as much as you can. So you tell them that I want to pay 2 or 3 years. Good for you. Because you are owing somewhere, you are indebted to some people somewhere. The earlier you get this money and settle them, the better for you. That's why you see Nigerian landlords want to collect as many as possible to start with, so that they can settle immediately and where they took the money from. So I won't blame them.
So I understand what you said earlier about how it's not in the best interest of the investors in the housing sector, because if there's an economic crisis, they're not going to feel it right now. Someone's probably paid a year in advance or even longer than that. So by the time the crisis is over, maybe your rent is expiring and they're still solvent. That's a good thing. However, you also described that in other countries where they're allowed to pay monthly, the housing sector is worst hit. However, in spite of that, they still continue running the same system. That means somehow the investors are able to stay afloat. That means somehow they're able to bounce back from the hit that they received during that economic recession. So how is that, in spite of the hit that they keep getting whenever there's a recession, they're still able to maintain this system? What systems or structures are in place in those countries that ensures they can still maintain the same system in spite of their losses whenever there's an economic recession?
First, in those countries, they have mortgages in place. When you want to buy your house, you don't need to go and break a bank or use your life savings to get a house. You get a house and you pay over a period of 10, 20 years. That's number one. There are also deliberate policies by government in those countries to encourage housing development. For example, a friend of mine in the States, United States of America, got a new job in a new state. So he wanted to move to the new state. So he saw the neighborhood and saw the accommodation there. He wants to rent a house there, and the authorities denied him. It's not the place. He said, no, someone from your category are not allowed to live here. Means that government subsidize certain things for putting in there. Underprivileged people, so to say, people that are earning a particular salary. They subsidize their power, the water, and developers that are developing there, government subsidize them. Maybe they give them the land free. Maybe tax-free development projects. So there are a lot of policies government put in place to regulate, to assist, and to help developers or investors too to bounce back when there's economic recession. For example, this last COVID-19 lockdown, there are bailouts for so many industries, so many sectors. There are also bailouts for real estate developers. From here, we don't really have things like that in place, so it will be difficult. If government is not encouraging housing development, it will be difficult for them to say they want to regulate. For example, when you want to rent a house, it's a contract relationship between parties. Renting house in Nigeria is a contract relationship between parties. And this will be enforced to the left according to what parties agree. There's no law in place that says that before you rent, government must know the terms and conditions. So in terms and conditions, in my agreement with you, that if you are my landlord, should be enforced.
Well, you said that what the minister has said is simply advisory. In other words, of course, property owners can choose, as they very likely will, to ignore the advisory of the minister. But if government wants that to be in place in the country, what steps would they need to take? Would there need to be some legislation as regards that? And is it enough for government to simply legislate and expect property owners to comply?
There should be an enabling law, okay? But you agree with me that so many laws in the land that are not being implemented, for example, outside the issue of minimum wage. Not all states are paying the minimum, or not all employers of labor are paying the minimum wage now, but there's a law in place. So there should be a law, enabling law, and of course, the law should be encouraged to function. I borrow money, my savings to build a two-bedroom flat. And I want to get my money back. Government first did not assist me in getting the land, did not assist me in funding the project. Meaning that I have absolute control. And this is subject to a lot of demand and supply. In some areas, you put a house for rent, two bedrooms at 500,000, and it must stay 2 years. If you cannot afford it, the next person that comes in wants to afford it and pay. That's the government. So for government to make law and for the law to work, they need to do much more in areas of housing. The CBN needs to set aside certain amount of money to encourage developers and also to encourage people that want to own their own house, when they call rent home. The need to own policy should be fully implemented so that when I say this out, I will not talk about 10 years rent or 2 years rent. Since I can actually pay you 6 months and there's a policy in place of government encouragement, enablement for me to own that house. So the issue of rent will straight into this car because I'm going to own the house and government has given me the enablement. Who will be talking to you, my landlord, will be my banker. And government will be talking to my banker to finance that, yes, man can afford this. That is so, but those things are not in place. That is why this is purely advisory. And I tell you, it will not work.
All right, well, I think... Go ahead.
If you cannot work, you not tell my listener there now that you have money, earn money to build a house because all you want to encourage them to build a house, there's money there. And you're now telling me that instead of collecting 1 year rent, please collect 6 months or 1 month. They want their money.
Now, also, Ori, you have a lot of properties. And I can't say for certain here in River State, but I imagine. I mean, I've seen a few signposts, especially in the upper areas of town, places like GRA and the likes. For rent, call, and you see the signposts there for a long time. But besides Port Harcourt or River State, there have been reports for long periods that you have many houses, in especially the highbrow areas in Abuja, for example, that are vacant for varying reasons. Now, is it not in the interest of property owners, in spite of the challenges in the industry, government not supporting and all of that, to also charge rents monthly? Because if that were the case, it means more people might be able to afford those rents, and rather than have a property completely empty and you're getting nothing for it, you at least have somebody there who is paying you something every month.
Yeah, there are things to those houses you see in Cairo. The first one, when they see a lot of vacancy in a particular community, you know that community or that town or the area is in crisis. That's number one. Not the same way you don't want to rent a house, they want to live in. There's a lot of vacancies. Please be careful. Ask questions. Number two, most of the houses they can't in Abuja here, they are not really vacant. What I mean is the owners may not be ready to rent them out. That's what we don't know. A lot of houses are vacant in Abuja. Some of them, they build it, the owner is already, they put the vacant there. The numbers there are not correct. If you call those numbers, nobody will pick. Some of them. Most that the owner are looking for genuine tenants and they cannot get. It's deliberate. It's intentional. They put it somebody, I said that regulatory authority will not come over them. Law enforcement will not come that who owns this house. You just spend billions of naira building and you don't want to rent it out. That's just another aspect I want us to be aware of.
Oh, we have to go for a commercial break right now. We'll return in a moment and we'll get your contributions as well. You're welcome to join in. Once again, federal government and landlords charge monthly rent. Wouldn't that just be swell? But according to my guest, Uri Martins, not practicable in Nigeria. Even if we have existing law, very likely the property owners are going to ignore it because the system is just not right for that to happen in Nigeria. Well, more when we return from the break. Do please stay with us. Hard Fast returns in a bit.
Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001-8162 and let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001. Connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you.
Let's talk.
And now, hard facts.
Hard Facts with Dio.
Okay, next we had Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info and Heron Port Harcourt and Dio. 24 minutes to go before 5 o'clock. Conversations still continues. Federal government and landlords charge monthly rents. My guest who joins me via phone from Abuja, Ori Martins, management and property consultant and MD Boing Group. Ori Martins, you're welcome once again.
Thank you, Daniel.
Join the conversation right now, if you will. We are live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH, WhatsApp on 0809 030 6416, or call my numbers 0817 93 0002 or 0003 or 0007. Now, Ori, what level of conversation or discussions or interface, if any at all, is going on between players in your industry, investors in the industry and government to ensure that some of these things that you've itemized and we've discussed so far that will make housing a lot more affordable and available are being addressed?
Yes. I remember that in several months back, they are seeing one grant, or they are still on grant. They have started this program. We also have family housing fund and so many other interventions by the federal government to help to bridge the gap, the 20 million or 17 million housing gap. But the truth of the matter is there is a need for government at all levels to do much more than what they are doing presently. What I mean all levels, right from the local government. For example, there's supposed to be a law, enabling law from all the local governments to encourage developers, people that want to provide accommodation. The state government, a lot of state governments around the country have been difficult to issue CFO, right title documents for the people, developer to developer.
Hold that thought for a moment, please, because interestingly, I was going to ask you, when we have conversations and we mention government, people think, our minds always go to federal government, but I'm glad you mentioned your state government and local government now. Now, what they can do, we'll come to that shortly, but I've got Michael on the line from Rumigbo. Michael, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dyer.
Go ahead, please.
Mr. Ori Martin spoke well because I know he is speaking because he is an investor and that is true. But I think this particular initiative will also help Nigerians very well. Because imagine if I am paying 200k for a self-contained and then I am to pay for like maybe a month or maybe like 6 months. It is very, very laudable. It's very, very good. But I think where they should channel their energy, being based in the field of the real estate, is to make sure that it also favors them, that they should also make sure that the government will also try and do their own part so that it will be a win-win situation. So that while the citizens are benefiting, them also, they will also be benefiting. Because this thing is not just only the housing industry. It's also the same reason why Nigerians are buying fuel at a very costly price, because we don't have refineries here in Nigeria. Because if we have refineries here, most of the products that we take outside to refine and then bring them back, it's like we are buying them times 3, and then when they get here, we are buying fuel at a very cost price. So if those that are in the sector of real estate should also pressurize the government to make sure that this particular initiative is something that is workable.
Michael, great to hear from you. Thanks for the contribution, Michael. Thank you very much. Now, Ori, back to you. And as I asked earlier on, whenever we mention government, more often than not, our minds go to the federal government, especially with the story I read a while ago at the housing event in Abuja. The minister was there, or at least represented. But at state level and at local government level, is there anything these levels of government can do to improve the housing situation within the states at the state level? Hello, Ori?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. So the question I asked is, did you hear the question?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
There are laws state government can do and the local government. For example, all land in the state is in the hand of the state government. State government at any point is a custodian of all land. And a situation where government or the state government is putting the land so tight, is not releasing CFO or developer that genuinely come and invest. It is an issue. In a situation where the local government in the name of looking for revenue are harassing the developer to pay far and above what's obtainable. There should be different to developer like Jane Mass housing and two that I don't want to build his own house. Local government can have a lot of programs to encourage developers maybe in the area of permit in helping to solve community issues, especially in River State there, where we have a lot of community issues. It should be a role of local government. Each local government council should have a unit, a department, like they have in the two councils and local government affairs. Local government in turn should be able to have land district units or departments because it's local government. They know who owns what. The developer is coming. The government should be positioned, the chairman, he can't tell us the position to have will be investors to have each free investment operation. And the CFO, of course, no financial institution wants to talk to you if you don't have the CFO. When I think financial institutions are not doing enough, the little I want to come up, if you don't have the right instrument, you will not have it to you. So, government should identify this. For example, in BSA Developer Association, where I'm a member and executive member, we are coming to work on Roshi, 7,000, where we want to develop housing in all local governments in the country. Okay? And we are telling state government that they should donate land for this project.
Ori, please speak directly into the microphone of your phone, please.
All right? Is it better now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it better now?
Go ahead, yes, please.
Yeah, we are developing rural urban housing initiative in Rudy. Rural urban housing initiative where we encourage state government to donate land, to give land to investors, to come and invest and build houses in all local governments of the federation. These are places state government, local government have a huge role to play. Tell us this land is available for you guys. And when we do that, we are going to contribute to such the economy of the local government of the state. Because one of the highest employer of labor is construction industry, housing industry. To complete a building, we employ nothing less than 12 to 15 workers. And by the time we are doing such things in the local government, in the state, the employment rate in that community will drop down. So in a way, government is benefiting by encouraging developers to come.
All right.
Of where they have to play there.
We got to mine. All right, thought we did. But to Facebook right now, God's Power goes, are tenants actually complaining of the 6-month or 1-year rent arrangements they may have with their landlords? This FG is always moving towards a funny direction. God's Power, you may not be complaining, but I believe there are several other persons who might be complaining. Amy Oningwo on Facebook goes, if you make laws for landlords, you should also make commensurate laws for tenants. For example, what happened to the month ends and tenant has not paid? Now, I saw in the piece I read just a while ago, Oren, I'd like you to respond to that. It's a very important question this person has raised. What if the tenants do not pay at the end of the month? But I'll get to that shortly. Let's take a call from Mine from Rumekene. Mine, you're welcome. Please go on.
Yeah, Adedayo, good evening.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. The federal government asked the tenant to pay monthly. My question is that did the government in any way or the other give the
Hello?
Hello?
Did the government do what?
Did the government in one way or the other give the landlord money to build their houses Telling the landlords on how to deal with their relationship between their tenants is like telling a shop owner on how to sell his or her goods. What about those landlords that depend wholly on their rent to meet their financial needs?
Mine, you sound like a landlord.
yeah. Hello.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think it should be a peaceful understanding between the landlord and the tenants on how to pay their rent, not between the government and the landlord. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Ori, back to you. The issue raised by some person via Facebook, Emmy Onunwa, once again, said if you make laws for landlords, you should also make for tenants. What happens if the month ends and the tenant has not paid? Now, in the piece I read just a while ago, the representative of the minister said, and I quote, the risk of default can be secured by bank guarantees or insurance bonds provided by the tenants or the employer in exchange for a direct debit mandate from the employee for the deduction of his rent from his salary to pay the landlord. Can this be worked out, and would it be effective? How effective might it be in your estimation?
The question we also need to ask ourselves, how many of these tenants are employed in formal sector? How many of them are formally employed? Okay, when you're formally employed, it's very easy for your employer to write an undertaking that if you fail, I'll perform. But when you're a trader, a hustler, when you take insurance bonds, it's an expense on its own. I really want to. I need to be the last person that called in now. That should be one of my landlords, my Onyewali. I call them Onyewali. Very wonderful contribution to be made there. Government want to regulate housing, and they are not playing enough role there. Look at private school, public school, private hospital, and public hospital. In UPH, the government can decide to operate free. Government can decide how much they charge per visit, particular pharmacy products. Whether they subsidize it or they ask something for you to make profit to run the hospital. But that is not applicable in a private hospital. The doctor then has bills to pay, has staff salary to pay at the end of the month. Need to pay the supplier of the medical equipment or medical supplies. So a doctor, a government cannot just go to a particular hospital, private hospital, and tell the doctor, treating malaria, you must not charge more than 1,000.
Oh, please hold that thought. I have to take a call from Sam now. Sam calls me from HA. You're welcome, Sam. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dayo. The tenants and the government trying to regulate landlord edition. Are they regulating the price of zinc, sticks? Then if you buy those things in the high price, how will you cover it? Will you cover it in a month? Monthly? No, it's not possible. If government will give loan to civil servants to build their own house, then they can. Government don't give loans, and then when landlord struggle, if it is the one doing business to build house, buy a stick of almost 500,000, and then buy something of anything, then you tell them that government will come and regulate it. Which government? Which government? Are they giving loans for the people farming? No. They share the money within themselves, and then when landlords do this in the state government, let them stop that too. Let them not put their head there. If they put their head there, it will consume their head. Thank you.
All right, sir. Jude from Malakaya Housing Estate, you're welcome as well. Please go on.
Yeah, I think that if government wants to regulate the rent, they had better regulate all investment, because building is an investment. And when you invest on building, you have invested and you aim to make profit.
Hello? All right, let's see. I do have a few more messages over here right now, but I think I may have another call coming in. Patrick from Malakaya, welcome. Please go on.
Yeah, Dayo, thank you for this topic.
Go ahead.
You see, one thing I observe about government, once in a while, in order to distract our attention from this security and all that, they'll just make some statements. If they know, they themselves can never follow. You know how much the price of cement goes now? A bag of cement. Building materials all over. All. Government has never made any statement to those manufacturing, Dangote or whoever, to bring it down. Then you want to pretend as if you are sympathizing with Nigerians in terms of accessing a shelter by saying that, oh, this government is carrying no fees. They want landlord to be charging 1 month. So that unnecessary hypocritical sympathy. Look, they know what they are doing. If you want that, there are a lot of factors that come to play in every investment. It's when you are taking care of like what your guest there, which is speaking very well. I said, government have a role. They still go travel abroad. They know what it is. It's very good they will take property tax. Before you bring property tax, have you tarred the road in those areas? Have you put street light? Have you put this thing? Go abroad. They know that they come here and do the exact opposite and put people into bondage. Like what that man said now. How many government have implemented minimum wage? Is that not a law? So the one that concerns poor people, they want to enforce our revenue or whatever. Look, all I know, they don't want to distract people's attention for now because they know that they have failed. Thank you.
Welcome. Via Facebook, Kingsley Obiama goes, good evening, Di. Why this can't work? 1, non-payment of salaries and pensions as it went due. 2, lack of jobs, employment or engagement. 3, economic instability. With the above mentioned and other opinions, that policy won't work and my landlord will not agree with this one. Akobundu Govt goes, not practical. The federal government give landlords any financial assistance to build their houses. Finally, Ori, as we wrap up the conversation, in your estimation, so far from the conversation, this cannot work at this time. In about 2 minutes, can you briefly itemize those things government needs to do to make this work? Very briefly in 2 minutes, please.
As I mentioned earlier, the first thing government needs to do is to create enabling law and also enabling environment. By enabling law, for example, in some years ago, Lagos State government, some of the current tribunal, where landlords can be taken to court for not taking the tenants well. Recently in 2011, we have what they call a tenancy law by Lagos State government, where landlords are prohibited to charge tenants more than 1 year rent. I tell you that, my brother, when there's a particular house that's at the right location and the landlord wants to collect 2 years, you that want that particular house urgently for your business or for your accommodation, you are not the one that is going to report to court or to police to come arrest your landlord because you need it. So this is just a law of demand and supply. Government can make the law and of course enabling environment. The enabling environment is to fund, finance, and regulate new estate. If you don't fund it, it will be difficult for you to regulate it. Otherwise, you may end up putting something on nothing. We say the housing gap is 20 million. How you want to regulate the few people that are bringing their funds to bridge this gap? Why you that have the responsibility, you are not doing enough of it. So there's a need to first let a enabling environment before you can implement the appropriate law.
All right, Ori, as we wrap it up via WhatsApp, Tim from Adedayo goes, good evening. It's a good thing the landlords collect monthly. There's nothing wrong with what the government is saying. In developed countries, they have price control even for foodstuff, let alone housing. Also via WhatsApp, good evening. In the early 70s and early 90s, this was the practice. It's a good policy if they can carry all the stakeholders along. We have to wrap it up on that note. Thanks for joining the conversation, especially my guest, Ori Martins, as a management and property consultant and MD Boing Group. Ori, many thanks for your time.
It's my pleasure. Bye.
We've got the news updates top of the hour at 5 p.m. Discussions continue afterwards. Pharmacists seek technological revolution in Nigeria's pharma sector. What's the state of things there? Stay with us.